Started my company, quit my job. I was broke. I helped my friend out interview Tim Ross. I gave my sales pitch to his assistant. I think we met up like the week after, and he's like, cool, let's do it. Core, you innately go to, this isn't gonna work. God's not gonna do it, so I need to power trip and control. You have to work on that, bro. That's, especially if you're young and you don't address it now, that's gonna affect you, your marriage, your friendships, everything you do. The more healed I've gotten, that's the more money I've made.
Woo, that's a line.
I'm just telling you, bro. Better my joy has been. Dude, I was suicidal when I was trying to control everything.
Welcome to the Faith Hustle podcast, where we help young Christians learn how to build their business and career God's way. My name is Mukwenda. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 10 years, and I get the honor with this podcast to be able to interview people who are business owners and entrepreneurs and successful in their own rights, but they love the Lord. They have a holistic nature about them, and they know that how to do it God's way, not just the world's way about it. And so that's the focus of this podcast. And this is the first episode, and we're excited to jump in and to dive in today. We talk about 5 pillars on this podcast: being spirit-led, having integrity, stewardship, humility, and generosity. Those are the 5 pillars that we see of what it takes to have a faith hustle. And so if this describes you and you want to grow with us, subscribe to the podcast and subscribe to the YouTube channel and tell a friend. And we're excited to get to do this journey with you and to grow together. And on today's podcast, I have my brother, the man, the myth, the legend, Hector.
Woo!
Guerrero.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I love the Lord.
My guy.
Wait, hold my hand real quick.
Yes.
Look at our
Yes.
shades of brown, brother.
Wow. Look at that. We
Come
out
on
here.
now.
We are out here.
It's God's children right
God's
there.
children. Come
Amen.
on. Yellow,
Amen.
black, and white. Precious in
Woo!
the and brown. You know that song doesn't say brown.
What a ripoff.
It really doesn't.
That is.
They messed up.
What song is that? Is that Brandon Lake song? What'd you say?
No. It's like when I was kidding, yellow, black, and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus
Oh, is it like
loved
an
the little
OG Christian
children.
song?
It's an OG Christian song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Racist. Just
Well, we've come a long way.
praise God.
We have, 2020 taught us anything. We have a long way to
Amen.
go. Praise God. But anyways, that's not what this podcast is about. But we got my boy Hector here. And honestly, I honor you for being the first guest.
I love you, bro.
Faith Hustle, for real, man. Seriously, it's amazing. Well, and I, outside of being an incredible man of God, I really do admire your devoted husband. And we're gonna try to get done with this as early as we can, because you got a dinner date with your wife.
Amen.
So we want to make sure you stick to
that
that.
Anglo queen, that little colonizer, the little Nazi herself. She hates that one. She's cool with Anglo. She's cool with colonizer. Hates when I call her a Nazi.
I mean, I probably would too. Oh my gosh, yeah, no, and I can't wait to meet her too.
She's a sweetheart, dude.
Yeah, no, she's from, or her family lives in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
which that's a whole story in itself of how we actually met. We met on the plane headed back to where I'm from, Pennsylvania.
yeah. We were going to Harrisburg.
It's crazy.
It was really sweet.
Yeah,
I was really happy to meet you.
it was awesome, man. Had a great lunch, and so obviously he's most notably the producer of Tim Ross's The Basement podcast, and you have several other clients and a lot of other things like that, which obviously is incredible. But what makes you even more incredible to me, again, your heart, your, I can tell your humility, all those different things that, again, there's a lot of successful producers, but it doesn't mean that they have all those traits.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean they have all those.
they suck.
fruits.
They're horrible.
They're just,
No integrity.
they need Jesus.
Hate
That's what they need.
themselves, Addicted to Zin.
Honestly.
You know what Zin is? That little tobacco packet?
Mm-hmm.
You have one in your mouth right now, don't you?
No, I don't. I can. You
Look
can
at Jason.
confirm.
His eyes are bloodshot
You
red.
can confirm. I do not. I do not. Ladies and gentlemen,
I am
no.
just playing. I am just being a fool.
I
I
don't
love
pop
you, bro.
pills. I pop Christ.
Come on now. For Christ.
For Christ. But yeah, man, I'm so excited. And so really, I want to just get into a little bit of your story. And, because there's a lot of ways to build a business, right? I think it's a whole nother thing to build God's way. And that's the whole point of what we want to do is like, because, one of my favorite scriptures, it says, the blessing of the Lord, he makes a man rich and he adds no sorrow to it, right? That there is regret on the other side when you don't include the Lord. And it's not even just including the Lord. When you don't make him central, that he is the point of it all, who the glory goes to, all those different things.
Wait. You got to go back though. You say the part again about not including God. Part.
Not just including God. Yeah, because
if you don't include God, you're going to regret it.
Yes.
Is that the gist of the...
Yeah, you're going to regret it. What I believe is, and I've seen it in my life, that there are different ways to grow. But man, to be able to sleep at night and how you grew.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I think the ultimate regret for me would be that I would be 40 or 50 and I'd be like, man, yeah, I'm where I wanted to be financially, but in my soul, I'm damaged.
Absolutely.
And it takes years and years to repair the damage of how you build, even if you have an empire or whatever you're doing. But yeah, that's why, again, I have you on here, man. And so, one, I want to get into your story of just tell me how you got into, well, one, just the content game, podcasting, and then, but from the early stages of like, how did that even develop?
Yeah, dude, I started making dumb videos when I was 12 with my friends in the hood, and we were using like bottom of the barrel Metro PCS phones. Oh, and this is when
Metro PCS,
bruh. This is when phones were they had video recording capability, but it was like
it
was like 13p.
I remember trash can.
There were Minecraft. It was potatoes, bro.
Literally.
Like blocks, Roblox. And we would make videos and I would watch them. I still do this. If I create something, I'll just obsess and I'll watch it over and over. And my wife will be like, shut up. Dude, I'll watch the same video over and over, bro. Like if I'm proud of it or I love it. Yeah. So when I was like 12 to 14, me and my friends would make videos. Had a YouTube channel. It's still out there, I think. Unless if YouTube deleted it. It's called Casa Noodles. You'll see me on there, like no cap. The first video I made on there was called How to Get Buff Quick, or 5 Easy Steps to Get Buff Quick. Dude, it was pathetic.
How to get hey, you were working that algorithm, bro.
But it was fun. SEO. Dude, it got like 5,000 views. That meant that was the world to me, bro.
Viral. And
all the kids in the school knew me, all the little hood kids.
Let's go.
It was so fun, bro. So we would just make silly videos. And I've always been obsessed. And then senior year in high school, discovered Casey Neistat.
Yes. And that's literally how I got my start.
Yeah. He would upload every day at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., whatever it was.
It was 6 a.m.
It was 6 a.m. in New York. So I would get the video at 7. That's when I'm getting ready for school. So I would start my day just watching a dude vlog his life, right?
Yes.
And that inspired me to continue my creative journey. Just watching him, I obsessed over that. And there was always times in my life where I have a creative pursuit and then life happens and then I let go of it. It ebbed and flow. The Casa Noodles videos, and then high school comes and I start getting girlfriends and I start acting bad and acting dumb. And then boom, I start doing videos again after I seen Casey Neistat, start vlogging my life.
Yeah.
And then boom, had like major tragedy in my life. I had lost a baby and then was just like creatively in a deficit. Like there's nothing going on. And then I start vlogging again for fun when I get a new job at Gateway Church. And then I stopped that because I'm like, I got to go all in on ministry now. And I can't. I was like over spiritual and I was submitting to authority in a weird way. It was good for me in a sense, but it was whack because it was like, hey, bro, you got to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Because your work's kind of suffering because you're trying to make videos.
Yeah.
And while I did understand that, I did not like that I was letting go of this. I wish I would have time managed it and kind of just ignored what they said. Yeah. Like I really wish I would have. I was too scared. I was a kid, right? And so I let that go. And then it was during COVID. They were prepping me to be the youth pastor, and I was like, Jesus, no. Like, please, please, I don't want to be the youth pastor.
Yeah.
I was already doing youth pastor things. I'm preaching to these kids in the hood. I'm going. I was a chaplain for Grand Prairie ISD for
Okay.
the football team and then the basketball team. So I was super involved.
Yeah.
And I'm preaching on Wednesday nights, and it was great. I was already doing the youth pastor stuff. I just didn't have the role or the paycheck, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. But I just felt a nudge that it wasn't for me. Like that role,
Yeah.
right? I was like, I'm already doing pastoring stuff. That doesn't bother me.
Right.
It's just that position and what that commitment's going to be. It didn't feel right because it was only going to pull me farther away from the gift that God had given me, which is making things
Yeah.
creatively and artistically. So I was like, all right, God, if you want me to do that,
Yeah.
I submit to you and I let go of what I want. As soon as I genuinely meant that in my heart,
Yeah.
that's when I don't hear the Lord like most people will say, like you're gonna,
Audibly,
bruh.
yeah.
They hear God and they're like, God told me to tell you that is not me.
Yeah.
It's just not how I'm wired or how he wired me to hear him.
Yeah.
But in that moment, bro, I felt it so clear. God was like, you're released.
Wow.
I just needed to know where your heart was at.
Yeah.
This is the first time I ever
It's like Abraham and Isaac.
It's like I was ready to kill that dream. And because I was willing to do that, he's like, all right, cool. I know where you're at now.
Wow.
In your heart and in your integrity.
Yeah.
So I gave my church a 3 months notice because I didn't want to leave them hanging.
Yeah.
I wanted to end strong.
Yeah.
And prep the next guy. So for 3 months, I still worked at the church, but they knew I was quitting by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So 2021 is when I went full in, started my company, quit my job, and I was broke. Like I only made like 25 grand that year trying to build the Tiger Teeth business, which is the name of my production company. And that was just getting anything I could take on.
Yeah.
So every weekend I'm bartending with my wife.
Yeah.
I'm bartending and slinging drinks every single weekend, bro. My bartending made more money than the
I believe it.
than the production company.
I believe it.
I just stuck with it though. I didn't care.
Yeah.
And then come 2022, it was the same thing. It just bled over. Still bartending, still barely getting any gigs. And then I helped my friend out interview Tim Ross. And then through that, I gave my sales pitch to his assistant. And I think we met up like the week after. And he's like, cool, let's do it.
Dang.
So that's when I had
that's
when I had my big break.
Yeah.
And because I had that big break, it just gave me a lot of street credit in the world to produce for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's when things just started. It was just a really hard turn into like success.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the gist compacted version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, dude, there's so many places I want to go with that. One of the things, even before going into the success of producing and all this different stuff, honestly, what astounds me, and I can relate to it in my own story, is not just putting the dream to die, but even the notion that because I'm not doing full-time ministry, that I'm not successful in God's kingdom, or I'm not because I dealt with that for a long time. In my first year, I did, I think 34,000, and I literally was like, I felt it wasn't that I felt like a failure because I was not making much money. It was I wanted to do missions.
Yeah,
that was like my life.
You felt like a failure because you wanted to do something else.
Yeah, because I thought this is getting in the way of that.
Yeah,
this is almost like a trial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
To do this, and I think there can be misnomers for those in the church.
What's a misnomer?
That's a great question.
I
need to look up on Webster's.
The heck
I
is
like
misnomer?
almost. It's almost like misnomer is like a cliche maybe, or like a most common like
Jamie, can you pull that up?
Definition.
I know your name's Jason. I just said Jamie for Joe Rogan podcast. I know
my
who
boy
you are.
Jason Talley over here.
A wrong or inaccurate name or designation.
Look at Jack.
Hey,
he was
I
on
know
it.
words.
I wasn't being condescending. I just literally didn't know.
I didn't finish college, but we know a little something.
I didn't go to college.
Honestly, I probably heard it from a sermon and just stole it. But anyways, it's a misnomer that, at least that I came to learn as far as like, I don't know. You just think that there's one way to please God, or there's one way
Hey, bro.
to make an impact.
Okay, so a lot of people that are in like working in a church or volunteering in a church, you're just in a bubble. Like,
Yeah.
you get in this bubble mindset, and you forget, like, hey, bro, there's a life outside of here.
There's a whole world that exists.
I love that you love your church. I love that, like, we need to be in the local church. But, bro, I didn't realize how weird I was and how weird my friends were at the church and my coworkers until I left. I'm like,
and no shade to people who work at church.
no,
we're not.
bro. My job is still ministry. I produce Christian podcasts. So, like, you don't realize it because it's no different than like a corporate world either. Like, people that are in an organization, they just live and breathe it.
Yeah.
So they feel this shame
Yeah.
that is not of God.
Yeah.
That's just whatever childhood trauma and
Yeah.
whatever that organization is putting on you that could be unhealthy, that's making you have this narrative.
Yeah.
Where in reality, like, you have permission to be well-rounded.
Yes.
You can do your creative company or whatever it is that you're doing and still go on mission trips.
Right.
Like, it's not a big deal. But I think, and again, this isn't just church, this is any organization. We get so addicted to titles.
Yeah.
So I resonate with what you're saying
Yeah.
about, man, I'm doing this, but I want to do that.
Right.
And a lot of times, bro, it's a quick fix. You can do both. It might not look the way you want it to be, but if you work hard enough
Yeah.
to time manage and be disciplined,
Yeah.
you can probably do everything you'd like to do. Maybe not at the magnitude that you want to
Right.
do that, but you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know where I feel that way when I start getting disappointed? I start getting disappointed in myself when I give everything to my client and my job and my organization, and then I am creatively juiced out and don't want to do anything for myself.
Yeah.
So, because back then it was just give everything to the church, give everything to these kids, and it's like, bro, the job's never gonna end. You gotta let God do His thing.
Yeah.
You just do yours and then clock out when it's time to clock out.
Yeah.
And then take care of you and the desires God put in your heart.
Yeah.
It's not this weird thing that you're being disobedient and you're not honoring the Lord and you're not honoring your peers. It's just time management.
No, 100%. And at the end of the day, you have to be. My dad taught me that because he's a pastor, and I asked him one time, because all throughout my life, no matter if I have a title or not, I don't need a title. I always love helping people, encouraging people. But if you're not careful, you can take on the burdens of people. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking him, how do you do this and not like just feel like crap at the end of the day? And he was like,
I wanted to kill myself.
Dang. Wow.
I was ready to go, bro.
Yeah.
I said, I'm tired.
It's a lot when you're dealing with a lot. And he told me, he was like, you have to trust that the word works. You have to trust that when we sow good seed, we get good harvest, and you water it, you grow it. But at the end of the day, I'm not the Lord of the harvest. He is. I'm not Jesus. I'm not their savior.
If you really believe in everything God says that He says He's going to do, then you can clock out at 5:00.
Yeah.
And you're done. Or if you're a youth minister,
yeah,
you can clock out at 10 and go home or go to Whataburger.
Honestly, and I know this went on a total tangent, but I'm actually glad we're here. Even in business. So I'm going to share this quick tidbit. I had, when I first started, massive anxiety. Never dealt with anxiety in my life. Had panic attacks for the first time while I'm driving on the highway. I had to call the ambulance a bunch of times.
Oh, my God.
Dude, it was crazy. My pastor had to FaceTime me on the call. Shout out to my pastor up in Michigan. It was a blessing. Dominic Russo.
Dominic Russo, God's kid, the chosen one. Yeshua's beloved.
Yes, sir. And I was literally, it was rough, man. And I remember in that season, the Holy Spirit was dealing with me because working, in the beginning days, you're doing 16-hour days, 17-hour days. And somewhat you have to do that in the beginning to get it off lift.
Ain't no one else going to do it.
You have to do it. But to me, it got extremely unhealthy where, one, I wasn't working smart, and two, I had to learn my own capacity. And literally, I learned that past 7:00, anything past 7, outside of deadlines I got to meet, whatever like that, it's just not healthy for me if I do it enough times. And so I literally had to ask the Lord, I just have to ask that you bless these hours, these 10 hours of work that I'm putting in, and you're going to have to just bless the rest. And I have to trust that because I had to learn my own capacity of what I had. And literally, God has done more over the past few years as far as revenue, new work that's come in, and I don't work past 7 o'clock than in the times where I was working 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. And it's crazy how, anyways, I wanted to just throw that in there as you're talking about, because it's not just the ministry world, it's the business world. Like, if you ask God to bless it, he will bless it. And like the same principle applies of you sow good seed, you'll reap a good harvest. And you just let God do the rest, like literally.
Yeah, you got to ask yourself questions. Do I really believe in what he says he's going to do?
Yeah.
And just be honest with yourself. If you don't, start working on that.
Yeah.
Do your soul work. Go to therapy.
Yes.
Ask people, what are my blind sides? Because, bro, that's a big deal. If you really don't believe genuinely, I understand faith. You need there has to be an element of fear to have faith, right?
Right.
I'm not saying you just need to be bold and courageous all the time, but if in your core you innately go to this isn't going to work, God's not going to do it, so I need to power trip and control. You have to work on that, bro. That's especially if you're young, and you don't address it now. That's going to affect you, your marriage, your friendships, everything you do.
You'll just be a workaholic husband
for no reason,
and father that barely sees his kids.
And
I have clients like that.
I was one of those people. I started drinking way too much because the only way I could take the edge off, I started abusing alcohol or tobacco, and then I'd have to catch myself. My wife would be like, "Hey, bro, this ain't you. Like, you're not you right now. You're drinking excessively and you're getting home late." And it turned me into someone that I wasn't. Right. Just because I was trying to numb something that wasn't even healed. But if I would have just taken some time and done the hard work, I could have stayed true to me versus really going left field. And listen, I like the lesson. I like learning. There is a part of me, and I think men naturally, we do like being at rock bottom because there's something internally cinematic and romantic to come over and have your arc moment, right?
100%.
But you don't have to do that.
It doesn't have to be.
You could be ahead of the curve and live a really good life.
Yes.
By addressing what you need to address.
Yes.
And I wish I would have known that sooner. But I think that's what I would submit to anyone. I think
that's good.
Look, dude, we're talking about business or money or whatever. The real goal to me, if I could give anything to y'all, is my leadership coach gave me this. Her name's Jenna Mountain. She's amazing. She said, if there's one thing I could teach my kids, because I'm always going to mess them up. She's a friggin' life coach, therapist. She knows how to lead humans. And even she owns it. I'm like, I'm going to mess up my kids.
Yeah.
I'm adding to their therapy list, right? But she said, if there's one thing I could give to my kids is to give them the knowledge and permission to understand that they can pursue healing. Because there's a lot of people that don't believe in here that they can get fixed. They're like, I'm just this way.
Yeah.
I'm just angry. I have to abuse drugs. I have to have sex outside of marriage. I have to do these things. Or I'll never have success. Like, it's like, no, like, you have an invitation to get healed.
Yes.
You got to do the hard work.
Yes.
It's not just a Sunday service. It's the Sunday service, and it's therapy, and it's your Bible group, and it's calling someone in the middle of the night. It's a lot of hard, exhausting work, but that's the only thing, bro. I've just been on that high in my head. It's like, wow, that is the best gift to give someone.
It is.
Because you meet some people that are older than us, and you're like, oh my God, you're still like stuck in the past.
Oh yeah.
Like you're still operating out of that kid in you that was hurt.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. I'm not saying that like condescendingly.
No. It's just real.
And to me, the more healed I've gotten, that's the more money I've made.
Woo, that's a line.
I'm just telling you, bro, the more healed I've gotten, the better my marriage has been, the better the sex has been, the better my friendships have been, better my joy has been. Dude, I was suicidal when I was trying to control everything.
Wow.
I'm over here trying to make all this money, trying to please my wife. Like, I had my perspectives all wrong. I'm trying to take care of everyone.
Yeah.
And God's like, hey, bro, you need to let me do my job.
Come on.
Just do your part.
Come
You
on.
over here trying to kill yourself,
Yeah.
literally, because you think you're trying to take my place.
You're trying to be Lord.
It was, and bro, in that moment, it seems so heavy, and there's no way out. And in reality, it's like, bro, just give it to him.
Yeah.
You pursue your healing and your personal growth and do well and excellent in what it is that's in your hand.
Yes.
And he's going to make it successful.
Yes.
You're already successful by being obedient.
Period.
What more?
Period.
What more can you do,
That
bro?
is success. Now, I'm not endorsing this movie. I watched it once and didn't watch it again. But so The Wolf of Wall Street. There's a
Don't
scene-
watch it.
Don't watch it.
It's so good.
Don't.
It's so good.
Leonardo DiCaprio is amazing.
Hey, bro, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I can't watch it alone. And I have to skip the intro,
Yeah. Just there's a lot of parts you can skip.
especially the intro.
Yeah, there's clear play. They have a filter. It'll skip scenes. You're welcome.
Clear Play's crazy.
It's wild.
You can
bro.
literally,
It's like
it's
magic.
an app you can pick and choose what you want cut out.
Yes,
It's amazing.
It's like magic. Shout out to Clear Play.
Shout out Clear
Give us a little sponsorship.
Sponsor.
You know what I mean?
Please.
But in that movie, the scene with Matthew McConaughey, and he's teaching him the ropes, right? And he's like, so how do you get successful? How are you able to, pitch these stocks and stuff? He said, man, drugs and women and masturbation, literally. And he was so impressionable at that time. He was so hungry for success. He was like, all right, if that's what and then we see how his life turned out. He went above and beyond that of just debauchery. But what blows my mind, and I think what has brought me, when I thought about that, I thought about Faith Hustle and what we're trying to do is to avoid that, because motives matter. Why you're doing something, like you said, based on, is it, I want to get back at somebody?
Am I trying to please someone?
I want to prove someone wrong.
Right.
All those different things. It really matters, because you'll just be in that hamster wheel and you'll never make it, because there always will be something else that will not satisfy. Why we do what we do matters. And if you're 100% right, if it's not from a healed place, you'll just be trapped in that hamster wheel and you'll never get off. And I've seen it. But then when you see it done the right way, and that's why, I thank you for your transparency, because I want to start showing people, okay, there's another way. There's another way off this hamster wheel that still leads to financial success and all those different things. But like how that pivot of pursuing healing, how you kind of mentioned how it's transformed your relationship with your wife and all those different things, but how has it impacted your business?
Yeah. So because I accepted the invitation of healing, the pursuit of healing, because I'm just going to pursue it forever. I have to.
Absolutely.
The way it's affected my business is that I think first it affected my perspective. And because my perspective has been affected, now I can tackle my business differently. So as I've pursued healing, I've and gaining knowledge of myself and how to view things, it's made me more wise. Because the more healed I am, the more in tune I am with who I am in my soul, in my mind, my nervous system, what makes me flare up, and anxiety, what makes me calm down, and what I like. I'm wanting to master all that. So that's what I'm pursuing, right? And because of that, I know the people that I don't want to work with anymore. I know the type of clientele immediately, because I'm pursuing self-awareness so much. I'm able to just read people better.
Yeah.
I could be in the room with someone and already know nightmare client, don't want their money.
Yep.
They got the money, don't want their money.
Yes.
Or nightmare person to work with, They don't have the money, but they want the world, right?
Yep, I've had both.
And then
Yep.
I can know, oh, this person's genuine.
Mhm.
They're legit. I can absolutely pursue a work relationship with them.
Mhm.
So because of that, I'm just able to make smarter business moves. So it caused me to slow down in how much I take on so that I can wait for the right people.
Yeah.
Because I'll know when it's the right person. So, for example, I had maybe 8 to 15 on and off clients. It was all busy bee work. It wasn't even making that much money, but I am exhausted.
Yeah.
Felt like the work was never going to end. Right now, I have 2 clients on a retainer that pay me monthly, and the workload has calmed down, hilariously enough.
That's hilarious.
And I'm making more money than I did when I was doing busy bee work.
Yeah.
Right?
Making 15, yeah.
Because I started working with the right people that value my time. They value me. And it just allowed me to be in the right room with the right people. Because I knew to say yes to them versus taking both of them on and still saying yes to 20 other things.
Yeah.
So that has been a move, a skill I've grown in on knowing how to read people and knowing who to trust, who to have some relationship with, and how to say no.
Yeah.
And what else other things that I've learned in business is, I think especially with one of the clients, it's an entire company that I helped them start. I've had to have so many tough conversations. Like it's been hard with some people, but because I pursued a lot of healing, dude, I was ready, chilling.
Yeah.
Like I was able to let somebody go, and it was very painful. I'm still grieving it, and I was able to move on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like you're not like, man, how am I gonna
I'm not a failure because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't back then I would have been like, I failed this person. I should have continued to give them more chances. And now I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I've been able to, because of the healing, bro, I'm just going to keep harping back on that.
Come on.
Because of that,
Talk about it.
because I've continuously pursued healing and still doing it, it's just allowing me to be more comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
And knowing who I am so that I'm doing everything for me, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing things that I know I need to do versus, oh, I need to do this to please my oversight. I need to do this to gain favor with my employees.
Right.
I need to do this so that I can kind of manipulate this client to get more money. Now, I don't have all of that. Is even all me saying that, it's exhausting. That's emotionally and mentally exhausting.
Oh, it is. And I've worked with people like that I mean, part of working even in corporate America, I'm thankful I love my time in it, but I'm glad I got out of it and started my own thing, because half the time you're not even doing your work. You're just doing the politics of work to keep your job,
Listen,
to keep somebody happy. And it's like it's exhausting.
I will not join a meeting if I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
And that's a luxury, because there's a lot of people that are in the corporate world or in a church organization or a nonprofit where it's mandatory. It's your job to be in that meeting. And there's a lot of people that are oversights that would prefer you to just look busy from 8:30 a.m. to 5 so that it makes them feel secure, like, yeah, I'm a good boss.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not productive.
Yeah.
They're wasting time, bro. They're playing Tetris, or they keep drinking water. Me, I'm different. So I'm gonna tell you my work schedule. Here's what I do.
Okay.
Every day, I grind between 2 clients. And of course, I don't just have 2 clients. I have the 2 retainer clients, and then I have one-offs with relationships and friends that I have.
Yeah.
But every day, I wake up at 6:30 a.m. I block off 6:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. I have everything I'm supposed to do on my electronic calendar, and then I write it down the day before of what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
On that notepad, I put be done by 11 a.m. Period. So that's all the editing, exports, and the uploads that need to happen for that day. I force myself to do all of it.
Okay.
That way, now I have bandwidth throughout the day. Whether I need to take a chill day, like today I spent a lot of time with my dad, or because I'm growing in a company and I'm growing and scaling a business, I have room to put out a fire. I have room to take on another client and make more money. I have room to invest back into those 2 clients that I'm with. There's just space.
Right.
I don't like stretching my time out to feel cozy and like, oh, this is a nice little pace. Now, I like grinding it out.
Yeah.
And then I have room.
Yeah.
And some days it's room for more grind, but really it's just more room for me to be at peace of mind.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's kind of the workflow I have. I choose not to work on the weekends unless if it's for like a travel gig.
Yeah.
And I'll ensure to take off a day, but I try to take off 2 days a week. Yeah. Some people like to take 1 day off. I'm like, no.
Why not? If you can,
I need 2 days.
No, that's beautiful, man. I think what I'm getting from a lot of it, it's intentionality for longevity. It's like
I'm in this game for a long time
yeah,
till I die.
Yeah, it's like because there are certain people, and again, like in the beginning, I've been there. We've all been there. You got to grind, but at a certain point, there comes a time where you're like, this will not be sustainable. That's why, like, even like there's 90-day sprints, 100-day sprints. A lot of times in business books they talk about, they don't say more than 90 days because after a certain point, your body literally will shut down.
Yeah.
Like, and there's not going to be any more output that you're going to get that's going to be move the ball forward. But being intentional about, hey, like prioritizing your health, prioritizing your relationships, prioritizing all those different things, it makes you do what you said, which literally I was reading James 5 this week of let your yes be yes, let your no be no. Of, all right, if I have this dedicated time, then who I choose to work with in that time matters. And if I'm wasting time or stressing over a client or a customer that it's just really, we're not good fits together, then I have to value my time, value my peace enough. And not all money is good money. And there are clients that I would have happy to give back their money for the peace I could have got back in that season of time.
Absolutely.
And so, no, that's so good and it's practical. We got 5 minutes left. You got to get to that dinner date with your wife. The last thing I want to touch on, man, since you've seen a lot of things over the past few years now with, all the things in your business and everything that's going on in your life. And we talked a little bit about this. And again, this whole show is about how to do things God's way. What are the pitfalls that you've seen, people take, and how have you avoided them? And what I mean by that is, again, like, there's always a grind to the business, but you can see patterns of like, oh yeah, this is not going to lead to this glorifying the Lord or you being healthy. Yeah. What have you seen of people that are not healthy in their business? What are the signs of that?
I'm an Enneagram 3.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all do Enneagram.
I think I'm a 9. I don't know what it means, but yeah, I think it's peacemaker.
It's a peacemaker. It's just a tool. I like it. It helps me understand people in leadership a little bit more. But the 3 is an achiever, and you can be unhealthy about it, or you could be healthy about it.
Yeah.
Unhealthy, I'm going to achieve at all cost, even to my own demise, right? What I have learned as an achiever is the worst thing you could do is you're doing it for them, whoever them is.
Yeah.
Your oversight, like your boss,
parents,
or
whatever.
your employees, or your parents, or your friends, whatever. Don't do it for them. Yeah, and I'm not going against what God is saying when he says sacrifice and you're here to serve and all that. But if you're genuinely doing everything for them, and if you can't please someone and you attach failure to your identity, dude, you're going to lose. Yeah. You're going to constantly keep hitting a wall, and you always will, because man is not enough.
Yes.
And
there's a difference between serving and people pleasing. Like those are not the same. Like, actually, people pleasing has more to do about you than it does about them.
Pride.
Yeah.
It's pride. Hilariously enough, right? You
Yeah.
wouldn't think it is. It's just covered up pride.
So you look good.
Yeah. So you look great, and you can get praise from whoever, and even behind that pride is just a broken person that wants to be loved and seen,
That's good.
right? So I would invite you to pursue healing, because if you have a foundation in yourself, then you can clock out at 5 with peace.
Yeah.
Whatever job you have, you can be done. I don't know anything to that person. If they're mad at me, if they're frustrated with me, it ain't got nothing to do with me. The more calm your nervous system can be, the more you're winning in life. Because when you're flared up, you become anxious. You can go to a fawn like a little prey, or you can become a survivalist and try to run. The more calm you can be, the more self-centered or self-balanced you could be, the better. Because you're not doing it for anyone. You're just there to do your job.
Yeah.
You're just there to do your job, bro. It has nothing to do with your identity. So that is what I have seen a lot of people fall into. And then the other side of that, there's the not achiever. There's the person who is lazy. And a lot of time these people have a victimized mindset.
Yeah.
People are very complex. I'm just generalizing too.
Of course.
But this one's dangerous, because the achiever can get by. That's also very dangerous, but they're able to keep their paychecks coming in because they're trying to make everyone happy and they're working hard. So while they are doing something destructive internally, they can at least pay their bills. The lazy person is a very dangerous person, even to be friends with.
Oh, yeah.
Because this person, many times that I've seen, they won't value you because they don't value themselves. Most of the time, I'm generalizing.
Right.
If this person doesn't value themselves, they're not going to value you.
Yeah.
They're not going to value the task that you have or the task that they've been assigned to. And it's going to cost the company time. It's going to cost everybody money. And what does that say about your relationship with them? It's like, do you not humanize me or this relationship that we have?
Right.
You're just going to suck at your job willingly? Like, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Blows my mind.
if you are that person, I would encourage you, or maybe you're not self-aware enough to see that you are. If you've been in a lot of meetings where you're constantly getting called out, you need to grow in self-awareness.
Yeah.
You have to, at least the people pleaser is somewhat self-aware that he wants to please everyone.
Exactly.
The lazy person most of the time is not very aware of self,
Yeah.
and it's always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
You need to pursue self-awareness.
Absolutely.
You need to get a life coach, and you need to get a therapist.
Yes.
And you need to give
And get in that Bible.
get in that Bible and look at how they moved. Look how Paul moved. Look how Peter moved.
Yes.
Like, you'll see when people are self-aware and not self-aware. It's biblical. This is historical.
Yeah.
So I think those are the two most dangerous things that I've personally seen, because that's just been my experience recently in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Humans are complex. There's much more than just
Of
those two
course.
scenarios.
Yeah.
But those are the two I've seen.
No, dude, that's so good. I mean, it's wisdom. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're pursuing. You know, we got to pursue to be better. We got to pursue, if we want to glorify God in what we do, we have to take account to those things. And, you know, I think for me, the goal is not just, again, to be a success. Being successful is just being obedient to what God told us to do, but in how we do it matters.
Can I share one more thing?
Please.
All right. So, looking at Jesus and his leadership style, I really wish we had videos of him. Like, we could see it. From what I've gathered, he is a very well-rounded leader.
Yes.
He knows when to break away and spend time with himself and get to know himself and hear from God, right? He didn't constantly have to chase around the disciples and lead and have an achiever's mindset. I can't fail them. I have to be with them all the time. Like, no, y'all do y'all's thing. I'm going over here. I'm going to take a nap, whatever. You see, when he's strong, not harsh, he's strong and could come across as harsh to someone who's maybe more hurt or offended easily, but he's a strong leader, freaking flipping tables over. All that, right? Then with the Pharisees, he had nothing to do with them until they had something that they brought up to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no beef with you.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to waste my time gossiping about you, pursuing you. But if you come to me, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Empathy. He had compassion for the people, right? So I just love seeing, and that's what I mean by finding yourself. That man knew himself because he was able to tap into all these different sectors of a human being. But a crappy leader, most of the time, they're kind of just two-dimensional.
Yeah.
They're really mean and really, really sharp, and you can only make them happy by doing really good.
Yeah.
Or they're really sensitive and they're a pushover. Like, a bad leader in business is very predictable.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he's just that way. But like Jesus is like, whoa, you got all these parts of you that we didn't know about. So I think that's if you want to go to biblical, like the Bible, like look at him.
Absolutely.
Superior in being well-rounded.
Yeah. I think that's a great place to end. I think, and even a last tidbit there, one of my favorite passages is, when Peter asks, Jesus is asking Peter and the disciples, who do men say I am? And Peter said, you're the Christ, you're the Son of God. And he says, man didn't give that to you. My Father did. And now I'm going to tell you who you are. And there's something to be said of like, he couldn't discover who he was until he discovered who the Lord was. And it was the Lord that revealed it to him. And then he got what his own identity was. And so I think in everything you're saying,
your view on God is directly connected to how you view yourself.
Absolutely.
If you look at him as an evil, mean, harsh dad, then you can operate in resentment or fear. Like, but if you understand, like, he's a dad that loves me.
Yes.
And he's strong.
And he's already pleased with me.
And he's
like, I can't do any more. I can't make more money to make him more pleased with me.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say, even though I'm the one that was trying to leave. Dude, to me, although humans are very complex in the way the Lord has made us, life's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang simple. Your job on earth, outside of all the desires you have and the businesses you have, your job is you are a steward.
Yes.
Steward it well.
Yes.
Make disciples.
Yes.
That's all you have to do.
Literally.
Steward it well. What do you have to steward? The job you have and your family and the desires that are in your heart. You can do all of it, bro. It's not just, you can do all of it. Just work on your time management. You steward that and you make disciples along the way.
Yes.
God will do the rest. Meaning he will bring success, money, whatever it is. He does all that stuff. You just do your part. That's it.
Man. And come on. That's a perfect place to end. Hector, thank you. Thank you, my brother, for
Can we
coming.
hold hands again?
Absolutely.
God's kids.
God's kids. Thank you for coming on the first episode of Faith Hustle, man.
I love you, bro.
Absolutely. We got to get you on again.
Let's do it again when my schedule's better, because this could have been, we could have done it way longer.
I know. Next time we will.
Dude, we should do reaction videos.
Oh, to old
Like
ones?
like
to
a segment.
the first ones? Like,
No, just in general, react to whatever. Like,
oh, yeah. I'll react to
dolphins
stuff.
eating stuff. I don't know.
I thought you were saying like people doing business bad way.
That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Not Wolf of Wall Street. We can't
Yeah,
react to that.
no. We're going to get blocked. And listen, I'm a believer. So.
Amen.
Clear Play. Sponsors. All right. Love y'all. Peace.
Woo!
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Faith Hustle podcast. We hope you got some great value out of it and that it's going to help you in your journey of learning how to build God's way. If you want to join this tribe, this community that's on that same pursuit, we want to invite you to subscribe to all the audio platforms that you might listen to and to this YouTube channel. We're going to be putting out a lot more content just like this to help you to build your business God's way. So until next time, we'll see you soon.